K-pop Demon Hunters might look like a fast-paced, action-packed animation, but it's also been surrounded by some seriously controversial debates. But do you actually know all the conflicts that shook the movie and totally caught fans off guard? Your Idol. After the breakup of Huntrix, the Saja Boys released a track that left fans completely puzzled. Some believe that Your Idol isn't just another pop song, it's packed with hidden dark messages. That invitation to the stadium, according to many, it was actually a trap. Some even claim it's a dangerous metaphor, suggesting that the song encourages something much darker than it seems at first. The detail that freaked people out is how some verses almost sound like a ritual, describing lights, screams, and a crowd that unknowingly surrenders to the idol's control. That led fans to speculate that the song acts like a modern-day siren call. Because of that, Your Idol became one of the biggest debates in the fandom. To some, it's nothing more than clever marketing meant to stir up buzz. But for others, there's something truly creepy behind the track. Something that directly connects the Saja Boys to the darkest side of the K-pop Demon Hunters universe. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's way more behind K-pop Demon Hunters, stories and moments you'd never expect. Come along with us now to watch another video. Criticism of BTS. One of the world's biggest K-pop bands is, of course, TS. And it's no surprise that their fans, known for being extremely passionate and protective, were not happy when they found out the Saja Boys in the movie were inspired by them. The reaction was immediate, accusations of copying, and even wild theories that the film was calling BTS demons. But hold up, ARMY, take a deep breath. The director herself explained in interviews that yes, she drew inspiration from several famous K-pop groups to make everything feel as realistic as possible, but never in a disrespectful way. It's like a chef creating a dish inspired by traditional Korean cuisine. It's a tribute, not an insult. The problem is that many fans were already on edge, especially with BTS currently on hiatus. And that made everyone extra sensitive, seeing shade where there wasn't any. Saying the Saja Boys were meant to call BTS demonic is like saying Pokemon encourages kids to actually collect monsters in their bedrooms. In other words, that's a total stretch.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
Golden. The song Golden by Huntrix was a massive hit and even won major awards. Unlike the others, it's an emotional track that talks about the personal struggles and challenges faced by Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, the three main heroines of K-pop Demon Hunters. The wild part is that the song became so popular it broke free from the movie itself. People started adding it to their everyday playlists. That's incredibly rare, because most soundtrack songs stay tied to the movie's world. But in this case, the opposite happened. The songs became even bigger than the film. Not because people didn't like the movie, but because they connected so deeply with the lyrics that it built an even stronger emotional bond. Of course, success always brings drama. The first controversy came when Golden was nominated at K-pop award shows, even though it was mostly written in English with just a few Korean lines. That sparked heated online debates, but honestly, that's a pretty common strategy. English is the world's most global language, used by artists everywhere to reach a wider audience. Even Netflix reportedly supported that decision to help the movie connect with more people. And since the composers were Korean, disqualifying the song just because it wasn't 100% in Korean made zero sense. Then came the second controversy. And it was even crazier. Some people accused the song of being made with AI. Imagine the creative team's faces reading that. One of the composers even vented online, furious, explaining that the track took months to produce, with tons of scrapped versions, endless meetings, and sleepless nights full of creative effort. In her words, this was not some 5-minute push a button and get a hit situation. The rumor annoyed her so much that she made it clear. If they'd used AI, she would have gotten a lot more sleep instead of pulling all-nighters revising arrangements. Before you keep digging into the biggest controversies of K-pop Demon Hunters, drop a comment below saying, conflict. Demonic eyes. One of the strangest criticisms about K-pop Demon Hunters had to do with the characters' eyes. It almost sounds like a joke, but in several scenes, their eyes look so realistic, so human. that some fans felt the animation lost its cartoon essence. And of course, the internet didn't let that slide. Soon there were memes and videos comparing the hunters' eyes to real people's. Some fans argued that the lack of a more stylized look made it seem like the movie wasn't well thought out visually. Others, however, defended it, saying it helped the characters feel more relatable, emotional, and grounded. In the end, it turned into a classic clash between artistic style versus realism, with all the passionate chaos that only a fandom can create. The inappropriate version of Soda Pop. Soda Pop was one of K-pop Demon Hunter's biggest hits, especially as the Saja Boys' opening song, introducing the group inside the movie's universe. The track had that perfect duality, high energy mixed with emotion. But unfortunately, some bad actors online decided to twist everything. They took the song, edited it in a completely wrong way, and created a fake 18+ version using AI. That almost turned into a huge problem for Netflix, because a lot of people could have believed it was official content. Just imagine the scandal. A children's animation accused of being inappropriate. Luckily, one of the animators noticed it quickly, reported the video, and it was taken down before things got out of hand. Thank goodness. No one deserves to see a kid's film turned into something indecent. If that twisted version had spread, it would have blown up not just for Netflix, but also for the fans. Once a negative reputation sticks, it's almost impossible to erase. The Hunters fandom would have been stuck constantly defending themselves from baseless accusations, and the franchise's image could have been unfairly tarnished. Moral of the story: a creative internet can be fun, but a malicious one is dangerous. Haters. It's nothing new. The internet loves throwing harsh criticism at animated films, and K-pop Demon Hunters was no exception. The movie offered something totally different from what most family audiences are used to. While people expect classic heroes or princesses, this one gave us 3 female demon hunters, mixing action with K-pop culture. And let's be real, even with millions of K-pop fans worldwide, some people still look at that mix with skepticism. Just from the title alone, some critics started hating on it before even watching it. But thankfully, most viewers didn't judge the book by its cover. The result? K-pop Demon Hunters became the most watched animated movie of 2025. The success was so massive that soon after the release, fans started begging for a sequel. And Netflix, of course, confirmed it's already happening. Even so, there are still people who call the film artificial or claim it's not for girls, just because the leads are female. That kind of outdated mentality makes zero sense. But sadly, it still exists. At the end of the day, K-pop Demon Hunters proved that it's possible to innovate, to blend pop culture with action, and still win over fans of all ages. So here's the big question. Do you think the way the movie was handled was fair and successful? Or did some critics go way too far? And now is the perfect time for you to subscribe if you haven't already. That way you won't miss any updates. A movie for adults? Yes. K-pop Demon Hunters features demons. But relax, the movie wasn't made as some kind of dark ritual, like a few overly frightened people thought. When viewers saw the hunters battling demonic enemies, some started claiming the movie was filled with hidden rituals and totally inappropriate for kids. Unsurprisingly, most of those complaints came from the more religious crowd. But honestly, the film has none of that. The story follows 3 demon hunters trying to protect the world from creatures that steal energy and spread chaos. In other words, it's not about worshipping demons. It's about fighting them. Still, because the Saja Boys became so popular, wild theories popped up saying there were subliminal messages that could make kids sympathize with the villains. Let's be real, that makes zero sense. After all, the so-called demonic boy band were originally humans who made terrible choices and ended up turning into demons. They weren't born evil supervillains burning the world for fun. It's more of a metaphor about bad decisions than an invitation to join the dark side. But, of course, there's always that closed-minded group that prefers to see conspiracy everywhere. So here's the question. Do you think those people have a point and the movie shouldn't be shown to kids? Or did they exaggerate so much that next they'll claim even Pikachu is part of a secret ritual? Rushed storyline. Something most people didn't notice about K-pop Demon Hunters is that a lot of scenes were cut during production, which made the movie feel a bit more rushed than many fans expected. According to the director, several of those deleted scenes were key for developing the characters and the story, but they had to be trimmed down to fit Netflix's runtime limit. The romance between Rumi and Jinu was one of the biggest casualties. Many fans missed those more delicate, emotional moments between the two, scenes that would have helped audiences understand their bond better. Also, the original opening sequence that showed the hunters' different worlds and daily lives was cut too. That part would have been a full-on immersive intro, giving more context and emotional connection to the protagonists. However, the cuts weren't only about romance or scenery, they also helped keep the film's fast pace, which was essential to hold viewers' attention. Still, some fans were left wanting more, imagining how incredible it could have been if all those scenes had stayed in. Is Huntrix stealing jobs? The K-pop Demon Hunters girls are the perfect mix of adrenaline and catchy choruses. They don't just save the world from monsters and demons, they also break box office records and still find time to drop hits that stick in your head faster than bubblegum in hair. The funny part is that some people insist they're taking space away from real artists. But let's be honest, if a fictional trio can bother people that much, it means they've already won. Meanwhile, fans are too busy learning every step of the choreography, debating crazy theories about Rumi's dad, and counting down the days for the next season. The truth is, these hunters have become way more than just animated characters. They're a full-on cultural phenomenon. They've got songs topping the Billboard charts, record-breaking movies, and an army of fans who treat every new appearance like the Champions League final. If you haven't been pulled into this universe yet, be careful. One watch is all it takes. Before you know it, you'll be humming the songs without even realizing it. Success almost never comes without a little controversy, and K-pop Demon Hunters was no exception. After its meteoric rise, it sparked fascinating debates that only made the animation's reach grow even more. If you enjoy the world of animations, we've got 2 really cool videos you're going to love watching. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next time!